What you guys, got another video here for you. Microsoft might drop mandatory Microsoft accounts on Windows 11. Now, one of the biggest complaints from people is the false Microsoft account requirement that is required when you're setting up Windows 11. When you're going through the setup phase like this, Microsoft want you to see the out-of-box experience, which is the whole setup phase of installing Windows. Now, for many years, you could choose a local account rather than using a Microsoft account. Now, there's been an ongoing battle with users and Microsoft where we've been creating bypasses to be able to bypass the forced Microsoft account to get a local account. And then Microsoft have released an update which is actually closing these loopholes, as you would call them. Now, there is still a way of using a domain name setup on Windows 11 Pro, which allows you to just go straight in to a local account, and Microsoft are not going to be able to close that one because it's needed for businesses. But as for Windows 11 home users, it's getting even more difficult to set up a local account. They are forcing the Microsoft account on all versions of Windows 11. So this means when you're setting up Windows 11, Microsoft want you to go through the out-of-box experience. You will need an internet connection to be able to set up Windows 11. They don't want you being offline. And this is another big problem. So there's been this ongoing concern from a lot of users being forced to sign into a Microsoft account where they just simply want to go into a local account because they have no need to sign into a Microsoft account. Microsoft said that you can sign into a Microsoft account temporarily. Once you're at the desktop, you can then revert back to a local account. But a lot of people don't like that idea. So Microsoft have made a post saying they are going to be making some serious changes to Windows 11. And this means that they're going to be changing a lot of annoying features that people don't like. And hopefully there has been no mention of it on their page, but there has been a lot of people that work inside Microsoft that have said they are working very hard to try and change this policy where they're forcing people to sign into Microsoft accounts during the setup phase of Windows 11. But they've also gone on to say that it's not as simple as deciding to just remove the requirement and calling it a day. It's going to take probably a board meeting, a committee of people to decide whether it's something that they want to do. Because obviously having a Microsoft account is a big thing for Microsoft. Products like Microsoft Office or Office that is syncing to Microsoft account, also OneDrive that syncs to your Microsoft account during the setup phase. We have Microsoft Edge that also syncs to your Microsoft account, and other things as well that Microsoft are trying to get you to sync to your Microsoft account by setting it up at the beginning when you're installing Windows. So it's going to be a difficult decision for Microsoft to make whether they want to move away from that and give people the option to sign into a local account. Because there is lots of people that do actually sign into a Microsoft account and are quite happy to do so, and they're not too worried about the so-called data harvesting of your email and stuff like that. Another thing they talked about was this Windows update. They're going to stop this forced update here. Now, I've also noticed there is a little update later button right here which has been added, which allows you to skip it, but I think they're going to stop this and move it completely away from the setup phase, because this does add a hell of a lot of time to the setup phase of Windows 11 by having to wait for this to update. And that is one thing they did mention on their blog about making changes to Windows. So they haven't officially said themselves that they are going to try to go back to local accounts. It's just insiders that work at Microsoft are trying to get this change, because this right here is probably Microsoft's biggest problem. Most people don't like this particular false sign-in right here. Now, if you're on a Windows 11 Home Edition, which is what this is, what I've just set up here, you have no choice. You have to sign into Microsoft. There's no workaround on here like domain setup and things like that, because you don't have the Pro Edition of Windows. Now, there is about 2 or 3, maybe 4 workarounds that are still working, but they are a bit of a hassle to have to do. Now, of course, we're not going to be covering that in this video because obviously if you want to see an updated video on that, let me know in the comments section down below. Now, I do think if Microsoft pass this change and they do vote for a change of it to go back to allow local accounts, I think that will be a massive step for the user base that use Windows 11. I can't see Microsoft doing it myself because of the commitment to some of their other products like I mentioned earlier on, like Edge and OneDrive and so on. But like I said, there is still bypasses that work for this by pressing Shift F10 and you can do a bunch of stuff inside the command prompt window here, like so, to get around this. But a lot of people don't want to do this. They just want to be able to set up Windows the way they used to. Again, you have to be online. You can't go offline and install Windows anymore. And that's another thing that people didn't like either. And this is not a big technical issue for Microsoft. This could be reverted back very quickly. It's just whether they want to do it. And that has not been decided yet because it wasn't on their commitment to Windows quality list right here. There was no mention about forced Microsoft accounts or giving people the option for local accounts. This is about insiders that work for Microsoft that are trying to get this change as well because there's a lot of people that don't like it there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below whether a forced Microsoft account really bothers you or whether you're one of these people that doesn't really care either way. Now, my opinion is I can't see Microsoft reverting back to local accounts. I think they're moving forward to making people sign in to all their ecosystem. I can't see them reverting that. Now, there is loads of tech blogs out there that have posted about this false Microsoft account and about people working inside that are trying to get it to overturn. There's one guy in particular, Hanselman, I think his name is. I've actually talked to that guy a long time ago. And yeah, he's a nice fella. But I think he was mentioning all about it here. And I'll leave a link for that in the video description. Let me know what your thoughts are on the whole situation and whether you think Microsoft are going to revert back to local accounts. I'll be interested to read your comments, but I can't see it myself because of the way it sets up OneDrive and syncs to it as soon as you install it. Also, you've got BitLocker that's automatically encrypting your drive and syncing to your Microsoft account. There's Microsoft Office, Office 365, and Microsoft Edge as well, all syncing to the account. So I can't see them reverting back to that. That's just my opinion. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall see you in the next video, or I'll catch you on the Discord server. Links in the video description. Bye for now.